Hello, Backgammon fans. This is Mark from the Portland Metro Backgammon Club. I hope you enjoy this match as much as I did. This is a match that I played against Bodger at the first qualifier for the annual championships for 2024. So you can tell it's playing with Bodger because we're using a tower. So that helps speed everything up, and that's his style. Let's go fast. And no spoilers, but if you're playing Bodger, you're going to end up with some interesting back game kind of positions. So here we are. We're off to kind of a standard start. He split with 6-4. I was able to hit him, which is correct. He rolled a 3-4. So he's looking at, do I anchor or do I hit? Anchoring's not good, but it's also not his style. So in this case, he goes ahead and hits. 1-6 lets me hit back again. So we're just off to our usual kind of a slugfest start of the match. 2-6 enters and hits again. So now I've got 4 back. And 5-1 lets me enter and hit. So that's naturally what I do. 4-3 lets him, let's see, why don't we hit? Yes. So now I've got 5 back. Things are going great. 4-3. So I look at, I thought very briefly about the double anchor, but then go ahead and say, the theme of the day is hit. And now that gets me to send 3 back to my 4.5 back at this point, I guess. I'm not really sure how you count that. 6-4 gives him a little bit of a tricky one. He correctly goes ahead and just runs out. 4-2 lets me either anchor up or hit. Hit, where am I going to hit? Well, 16-10. And so I looked at that. That would have been better, but I did go ahead and make the anchoring up kind of a play instead. So my first kind of significant error of the match. 3-1 lets him make a point, which, needs to happen at some point, I guess. 6-2. So I'm looking at the hit on the 10 again, which is correct. And then what's the 2? The best thing is to just go ahead and clean that up there. So that's what I do. So now he's got 2 points. I've got 1. He's got 3 back. I've got sort of 3 back. He rolls double 3s, which is not a great number. Doesn't let him anchor anywhere, especially. He can't unstack the 6 because I'm already there. He can't put him on the 5 because he's already made that point. So he's going to enter with 1, but he's thinking about what to do with the other 3 before he does anything. So enters with 1, steps up, and 2 down, which is basically tied for best. There's other things you could do, but most of them are worse. So here, double 1s, obviously go ahead and point on him. And then I step up, and that's a blunder. So here, I really should be going ahead and hitting 2. But I was thinking it was important to kind of not end up trapped back there. So he rolls a 3-6, and since he's got his full roll to play with, he gets to try to figure out what to do with it. So he enters and comes out. So now I'm looking at things. Position is actually pretty even, so I go ahead and roll. 3-1 is not my very best in that, doesn't make a new point, but it does let me hit 2. And so this time it occurs to me that I can hit 2, and I go ahead and do that. 6-4 enters 1, so that's pretty good. It was better than not. Now I'm thinking about it again. Things have improved, but I've still got 3 back. Everything's a little bit dicey. So double 5s, I can make the 3. And then what to do with the other 2. So looking at where the different back checkers end up running to. So ultimately decide on just pulling those two out, which is correct. Everything else would be a massive blunder, so I'm glad I found that one. 6-5 dances, and so now I do have a double, but I don't notice it, and I just go ahead and roll on. So I ended up with a 3-1 here, and so I go ahead and hit loose in the outfield. Now he's got 2 on the bar, and double fours really kind of improves his situation. So yeah, so he's in with both, and then gets to decide what to do with the other 2. And so he says an inside point's better than an outside point, and goes with that. And that is, of course, correct. Sort of processing my disappointment in like things had been going so well, and then a 6-4 is not bad. It lets me make the point. And then I go ahead and lift. So again, it's the right move. Anything else is a blunder. So I'm glad I found that. 5-2 lets him run 1 out. Start trying to fight for mobility. We're back to being a pretty even game. 4-2, not super productive. Coming out is the best thing you can do with that. It exposes it to some risk, but it's that's the best you can hope for at this point. He rolls double fives, which is a great number actually. So as that escapes, so then the question is just like, how many do you want to escape? Do you do both of the back checkers out? Do you, that's what he goes with, is both of the back checkers out. And then what do you do with the other 2? So you can bring them around, but then that leaves like a blot 7 away from my stack. You can come, so that's what he's looking at here. It's pointing at that point that they would come to. And instead, he goes with remaking his 8 point, which again is tied for the best possible thing to do there. Double twos is amazing for me. Can clean up, anchor, make a new point. Just great roll. 5-2 now is blocked on the back end, so it's looking for what to do with one of the front checkers. Goes ahead and just breaks the 10 point. Pretty reasonable thing to do. 3-1 lets me go ahead and make another home board point. So like I'm in pretty good position should he leave me a shot at anywhere along the way here. 6-3 lets him just run one of them past, so that's a lucky roll. And then double sixes, that's going to change my game plan. So, it's been a pretty even race. I was a little behind before this roll, but now I'm substantially ahead. So I'm pausing here to kind of like look at the race and, not fully. I think I did a crossover count, and now I'm stopping to kind of like see what does this look like after just moving everything forward. From a crossover count perspective, now I've got 6 to bear in, versus he's got 8 to bear in, so that's a clear advantage. And then I stopped and went ahead and did the full count, so spending a little bit of clock time getting to the actual pip count, which turns out that I am, after this roll, ahead by like 15. So that's pretty substantial. It's, 2 crossovers should be about, I don't know what that is, about 12 probably. So, it's a little better than that. But then he rolls double fours, so that evens up the race considerably. So he goes ahead and, breaks contact, because why wouldn't you? The question is like, what do you do with the other 2? You can bring 2 into your home board in order to just get the extra crossovers. Instead, he just moves them forward. It's not terrible, but it's not the best thing that you could have done there. So let's see, 4-3, get a couple of crossovers. That's good for me. 6-3, that brings at least 1 in. So, and both 2 in, of course, so is best. 4-3 lets me bring 2 in again. So I'm just aiming for a good structure on the inside. 5-4 lets him bring 2 in, and again, like, the things are pretty even after this. He's a little more forward than I am, but double fives is another kind of like game changer. So yeah, now I get 2 off, and substantial racing lead. 4-3 kind of helps him, gets the rest of the crossovers, but the game is now over. So I go ahead and throw the cube. He is going to pass once he verifies that I've got the racing lead that I actually have. And so spending just a moment kind of like looking at it, probably doing a full pip count again. So here I've got it open in XG so I can see that I've got 59 to his 67. The way that I like to look at these is using the Keith count. So I've got like 1 point of adjustment, and then 1/7 of that. So I've got like 68 after adjustments, 68 point something, versus he's got 67 with no adjustments. So difference of less than 2. So it's a double and a not a take. So he goes ahead and drops. So, and we set up for the second game. So get a nice early lead, excited, all right, that went well. I was didn't have necessarily like the best of luck, but enough luck to like catch up every time something was going his way versus mine, and then the double fives at the end was enough to kind of like seal the deal. So great start. Very happy at this point. Okay, so there's a little bit of a pause here. I think that we're probably just dealing with some, paperwork or getting a glass of water or something. I don't remember exactly what was going on here. Anyway, but now we're off. 2-1 to start. So he does the down and slot, which is, the more entertaining start. I get a 4-3, so that lets me hit and come down. 5-1 lets him hit and enter and hit, which is fine. 5-2 lets me hit back, and then the 2 is less clear. There's like a 0.009 difference between the best move and the move I did. Kind of didn't really matter. Double ones, well, you got to enter, and then it's Bodger, so he's going to hit. But then the question is, like, what do you do with the other 2? So there's 1, comes in off the bar. I suggest, go ahead and just spread them all out, go for the backgame, which is not the right idea, but I was just teasing him. Instead, he goes with move all 3 of them over to hit me, which is also not the right idea, but then he puts it back, and then he thinks about it some more, and then he actually does it. So that it was, in fact, not correct. That was a pretty substantial blunder, for which he's immediately rewarded when I dance on a 1-point board. So then he gets a 5-3. Not a number that lets him make another point at this point, but does let him get some mobility in the outfield and like set up to make points in the future. Double 4 lets me enter, and then looking for what are all the good things I can do with the rest of them. So making the inside points got to be part of it, and then the extra builder is the last one, and that worked out well for me. 6-1 lets him hit on me, hit point on my head. So now he's got a 2-point board. Double 2s lets me enter, and then those 2 checkers are a little bit trapped. But I go ahead and pull 1 down to cover, and then the last one I end up stepping forward, but that 6-4 that I was looking at is actually a little bit better. Not a huge deal though. 4-2 lets him, you know, cover the point and split, which is important since he's got 3 back checkers. Eventually lands on a 6, so 6-2 is almost useful as a number. I can't move the back checker because, you know, both 6s and 2s are blocked. I can move the next to back checker out with the 6, but then it's blocked, and what's my 2? So I'm looking around. The 6 to hit is not bad. Well, actually, it's bad. That is not the right idea. You know, the 6-4 with the 2 is the right idea. Just get that stack dealt with. But you know, running out with the 6 is really useful. That, you know, gets me some mobility. You know, yeah, I can get hit, but I can also get hit by hitting on the home board. Plus, I'm now creating 4 blots instead of 2. So that was a blunder, but I was at least looking at the right move, I guess. So that's a, you know, not the worst. It was kind of the worst. Double 3, so he enters and hits, and then has to find something to do with the other 3 threes. So, you know, once again, he's really wants a number that would let him remake the 6 point, but instead he goes with the hit. So now I've got 2 on the bar, very unhappy. 5-2 lets me enter. Now we're both on the bar. 6-4, he dances. And so now I'm like, oh, this is great. He danced. He doesn't have a 6 point. I'm going to come in. I've got all these checkers in the zone. What a favorite I must be. Oh, this is amazing. I must have a huge lead. In fact, I'm like 55% to win. And it is a massive blunder to double here. So, you know, and again, it's Bodger, so like I shouldn't even think I'm going to be able to like bluff him out or something. So that was poorly done on my side. So 5-3, he enters and hits. Double ones is about as good as I could hope for. So now do I make the 5 point or do I hit him? Those are kind of the two choices. So, you know, come in with 2 and you see me like point at that point, and then I think, all right, that would be good. Or I can just spread out. But in fact, making the 5 point was the move. And so that was, again, a blunder. So, you know, I think something about the not having the 6 point made is just throwing me off. Like, you know, I feel like I should be able to like get an anchor on the 6 point, and that'll be a big advantage or something. But that play left me an underdog. Well, not an underdog, but you know, it's a much smaller favorite than I would have been if I hadn't. So 6-1, he hits me. 2-6, I can enter on the 6, which I've been thinking about, or I can hit him. So it turns out that like the best thing would have been to just come out to the 18, but instead, you know, it's like, here we are. All right. So where are we? I think that he is still thinking about his move at this point. I think I've lost track of where we are. Oh, we stopped and looked. Okay, no, he rolled the 5-2, and then, yeah, he was, you know, I get thrown off by my own animations and covering up things. So anyway, here we are, 4-3. So I hit again because that's the theme of the day. And then step up. And again, that's a blunder. Like so, you know, it's the we are into a position where he does have a back game. He's got the 2 back anchors. I shouldn't be sending more back necessarily at this point because I don't want to make it so that he's got a well-timed back game. I want to make it so that he's got, you know, no timing. So I'm probably in a stage of like, quit hitting, you idiot. But I just keep going with it. So let's see, 3-2. So come in with the 3, and then I could hit with the 2 or something else. And actually, it's okay to hit with the 2 this time. because I do need to, like, you know, get those back checkers out and around. So there's like a balancing act here that I don't understand well. 6-1, I do go ahead and hit twice, and that is correct. But now he's got the triple anchor back game going. And so, like, that's not a great thing for me. 3-2 lets me make a point. That's very helpful. 6-4, so sorry, 4-2. So he manages to get the spare on his triple anchor. Now 6-2 is again, like, all right, do I want to keep hitting here? He's got a triple anchor with 3 spares. He's well timed. So if I come in with the 2 and down with the 6, I don't hit anything, and that's a blunder. So here I should have gone ahead and taken the hit and come out. I mean, I do need to, like, be making a prime in front of him, but there's an order to these things. So anyway, this time I get it right. I do enter and I hit as I enter and anchor the point, which is good to have another blocking point in front of him. So let's see, where are we up to? We're up to the 5-3. So now the question is, am I hitting or not hitting? And again, this is where I get very confused. Like, I'm thinking he's got 8 checkers back, 10 checkers back. Why do I want to send more back? Let me just start getting mine around. But the reason I want to hit here, I believe, is so that I can get mine around. Stepping forward with the anchor is like one thing, but not, doesn't, if he's on the bar, I have more unlimited mobility. So anyway, he hits me with the 4, pulls one out and just starts flooding the outfield, trying to control it. 2-6, so I come in with either the 2 or the 6. Again, it's a little unclear which way you want to go here. And this time I do hit, which, again, this time it's correct. Like, I need to have him on the bar so that I can hopefully have mobility to come out and get my checkers around and get the prime in front of him. It's not necessarily panning out. That 1-6 lets him enter and make the bar point, so that makes it a lot harder for me. Now 5-1. Let's see, we had a little pause here, and I think I might have edited something out here. I think we had a little pause in order to, like, deal with the logistics of running the tournament. So 5-1. So I go ahead and do like a pick and pass kind of play, and that is not correct. So I've got those 2 far back checkers, and so what the bot wanted me to do was get one of them moving instead. So let's see, 2-1. So he enters. It's no challenge for him to enter when he's got 3 points on my home board. So I'm going for kind of a little bit of a hypergammon style game at this point. Like, I've got to get those back checkers out and around. 5-4 lets me, come down and where am I? Oh my gosh, I'm so lost in this game. Okay, 6-3. So he just keeps coming out, making points, which makes it more challenging for me to get around. So I'm really struggling here. 4-2 lets me anchor up, which again is wrong because I could hit. And if I hit, then I can. He's on the bar, and moreover, I would have put 2 on the bar, which again would make it easier for me to get those checkers where I need them to be. So again, I'm kind of just boffing it move after move. Like, it's the these kinds of games are complicated. And I was really stuck on the notion that I don't want to hit him because it's a back game. But in fact, it's not so much a back game, it's a hypergammon game, and I got to get my checkers around. So him being on the bar helps me do that. And he doesn't have a board really worth considering, so like a lot of loose hitting is completely acceptable anyway. Double threes lets him bring a bunch of checkers around. Double ones lets me move everything forward, which is fine. It's not by the best thing I could have done, but it's pretty darn good. Double fours lets him just swing a bunch of checkers around as well. And now we're into the point of, can I get them in without exposing another blot? 6-3, there's only a couple possible moves. It wasn't the end. So given two choices, I picked the one that was 0.02 worse, but not so terrible. So again, there's really only a couple of things I can do, right? The 6 was unplayable. Anyway, 4-3, he just continues to kind of move forward, trying to remake his board so that when he gets a hit, he can contain me. 6-2, I don't have a 6 that I can play. So the question is, do I play 6-4 or do I play one in, given that he's got a couple of blots right now? And so, might as well play 8-6. Turns out that's wrong. The 6-4 leaves no blots, and there's no reason for me to expose a shot at this point, and I am immediately punished for it. So he enters and hits, and he's got a 3-point board now. So the 3 comes in, and then the 6 can either run out or hit. And I'm thinking, oh, let me make that 3-point. But then he still has a 2-point. He still has a 2-point anchor. So it's better to just get that checker moving. So unfortunately, I blundered again there. 6-1 lets him enter and hit, or enter and escape. 5-3 is a good roll for me, so I can cover that point. And then there's like 2 possible choices for the 5. I can either come in or I can come out and hit. And now I'm realizing that I've got to come out and hit in order to kind of, but I'm not happy about it. So it's like, but I can see that it lets me have some chance of keeping him on the bar so that I can get around. So fortunately I did that this time. 2-1. I just run it when in fact I could have hit again. So another blunder. 5-4, he dances. I think another little pause for tournament logistics. 4-1, so I can enter and, but again, I should have hit to keep him on the bar to get the other checker around. He's already got the 2-point anchor, so like my position's not improved by letting him have more checkers in the outfield. 4-1, this time I could have hit and again did not. So it's like I just keep making the same mistake over and over again. Definitely confused on how to play these positions. Double ones is a little easier, right? Because there's almost nothing you can do there except hit. 6-2, so he can enter and can't hit me with the 6, so he just comes out. 5-2 lets me escape, and then the question is, do I keep going? So I move it 6-4 on the grounds that keeps it out of range of some of those other checkers, but again, a small misplay, but again, a misplay. 5-1, so he's just putting the checkers in the outfield to make my life more challenging. 4-1, I don't have any 4 other than the back checker. And then the question is, do you just keep it going or play inside? And here I do go ahead and keep it going because after all, it's a triple shot regardless, and that was correct. So yay. 2-6 comes out into another triple shot. 6-1 hit, or 6-2 hits. and makes the bar. So now 3-5 enters and comes out. So that's pretty lucky. And now it's only a double shot. So that's an improvement. 6-5 hits, of course. And so now he's looking for what to do with the 6. So goes ahead and brings one in. It would have been better to just kind of bring the back checker around, but oh well. Double 6, I dance. And this game is now very, very even. He's still got those 4 checkers back, but okay, and my 3-5 is a lucky shot. That gives me some advantage. Double 4, he dances. 3-6, again, basically forced. There was, I could have played the 6 outside and 3 inside somehow, but anyway, that was fine. 2-1, I bring it in, and hooray! All I've got to do is bear off against a 2-point anchor in my home board. So that should be easy enough, right? And so here I've got double 3s to play. So I go ahead and move 2 of them first, and then the question is, do I just take those off, or do I go ahead and keep clearing the 6-point? And so what I was thinking is that, taking 2 off gets me off the gammon, but clearing the 6-point just means that I'd have one less point to deal with in the future. But taking 2 off would have been correct. So he enters with a 2-1 and thinks hard about where he wants that checker, 24 or 23 point. He goes with the 24 point originally, and then it's like, well, what's the 2? So and then he changes his mind and does this instead. Minor misplay, but not a big deal. Double 1s lets me clear the 5-point, which now is correct. So I'm all set up. All I have to do is somehow manage to get those checkers off without ever hitting him, which is unlikely. So 6-4, I'm finally off the gammon. 6-3, he leaves a space there where I might be forced to hit him. Be forced to hit him with any 2 at this point. 6-4 lets me take 2 off. 5-4 lets him, kind of just move some of the back checkers around. He could have gone ahead and made the 2-point there, which would have been slightly stronger. 5-2 is, just terrible. It's a forced move, and I'm, just taking a moment to process it emotionally, I suppose, at this point. That's the 5, that's the 2, there's no choice. Have a double shot. But, if I'm lucky, at least he'll probably only hit one of them. If I hit the clock here, I have, yeah. So he's thinking about recubing at this point because he's got a good advantage. And then he goes ahead and hits both. So now I've got 2 on the roof, handful off. 5-1 lets me get 1 in, and then he gives me the cube back because he didn't want it anymore. So this one is a pass. So after throwing the cube too early, I go ahead and turn it around and let him win a 2-point game off of me from a fairly complicated back game. So that one game had 47 moves in it each, so about twice as long as your average backgammon game. So like it was that one took a while to get all the way through. So, but now we're set up, and I'm the underdog. 6 away, 5 away. 5-1 to start. He comes down and splits the back. 4-2 lets me make the 4-point. 4-2 lets him make the 4-point. And so then 6-2, go ahead and run it, which is actually correct. So yay me. 4-2 lets him hit and split, or unstack. Would have been slightly better to play the back checker with the 2, but that's fine. It wasn't a big deal. 5-6, I just come in and out. 6-3 lets him make the 3-point, which is pretty strong. My own 6-3 is not quite as productive, so I just bring 2 down, which is not bad. 4-1 lets him come down with the 4, or not, right? So he just comes out with it. That actually is the best thing he could do here. It's not necessarily fun. So I look at hitting it, which would be the right thing to do, actually. I'm a little concerned because he's got me outboarded. He's got 3 points made. I've only got 2, so I'm a little anxious about that. Because if we get into a hitting contest, then he's got an advantage that way. So I ultimately take that back and just play, clean up and step forward, which was a blunder. But apparently I didn't put the XG in on that one, so I apologize. It was 0.245 blunder, so that was pretty bad. Anyway, 4-3 for him, lets him hit. And yeah, just bring an extra cover down. Just strong. 1-4 lets me hit back. Very lucky roll for me. 5-3 comes in with the 5 and hits with the 3. Looks pretty loose, but it's the right thing to do. 4-1 lets me enter and hit again, so another very lucky roll for me. 5-3 lets him anchor and hit, so that's how it's going. 6-3 I dance, so that was an unlucky roll, makes up for the last 2. So now he's looking at things, thinking about is this, that was a good sequence for him, is it enough to cube? He decides no, rolls a 2-1, which is not his very best, so, but, he just goes ahead and plays one in. 5-2 lets me hit and escape. 1-3, so he enters and then just jumps out, moves one of those checkers forward a bit, which is not bad. 4-2 is a little bit of an awkward number. I just play them both off of the 8, which is okay. 6-1 lets him hit me. 1-3. Okay, so I can't come in with the 3, so I can't hit with the 1. So I come in with the 1, and then the 3 is unfortunate, but at least it jumps past those couple of checkers there in the outfield. So, and if he hits me, he has to break his anchor on my 5 points. So that's not so terrible. 4-3. What does that let you do? He can go ahead and make the 7 point, the bar point, but it also can hit. So, that's, again, Bodger style. So he hits. 6-2 lets me enter, and then what? So I can jump out, or I can just clean up the blot. That was correct by a mile, so I'm glad I did that. 6-4 lets him, again, he could make the bar point, or he could cover the blot on his ace and hit. So that is better, and again, it's the attacking play, so Bodger tends to see those. 5-6 lets me enter and then do something else. So it's, thinking about, do I just want to run out? Yeah, might as well. There's only one number that hits. So 5-1 misses. And so it's looking at what to do with that. Could just bring one, there's no real reason to leave that one on the midpoint. But I think he's liking the contact. So, and here now I should double, but I didn't even think about it. So 3-1 I can hit, but again, I've got a 2-point board versus his 4-point board. He does have those blots in there, but ultimately I'm like, well, let me strengthen my board. So 2-3 lets him hit and cover. So that was the perfect roll. 4-6 I dance. 5-1. So he's got, you can pull one out, and then, yeah, might as well say that we pulled it off of the ace point instead. 4-3, I dance again. 4-2. So he can make a point outside, or he can, he can make the 16 point. That's actually pretty good. At least move that one to the 16 point. So instead he does both of them out, making the bar point, which is not bad, but a little bit worse. 3-1 dances. 5-3 just keeps escaping. Double fives is got to be good. So in with the 5. I don't hit anything. So that's what I'm looking at for a little while. So, like, do I want to just run it all the way around? Or, like, do I want the contact? It turns out, I'm not actually that far down in the race after the double 5. So I go ahead and make that play. I'm an underdog, but not a massive underdog. He's got to clear the checkers on my bar point. And that gives me enough contact to do something good with through the rest of the game. 4-2, make my 2 points. So now my board is getting there. Double fives for him is an excellent roll. That breaks most of the contact. 2-1. Just go ahead and cover the 5 point. And he doubles. And to look at it for just a minute, how bad is this? The answer is pretty bad. I'm down 13 pips at this point. So it's giving me just a minute to figure that out. So the pip count is 80 to 93. You can see us both kind of counting here. Kind of the outside's kind of looks a little bit even, right? We both have 4 checkers outside, but mine are further back. And so I do go ahead and just let that go, which is correct. It's a relatively small pass, but it is a pass. And so, again, I'm relatively happy that I found that. 5-3 lets me make the 3 point, standard start. 6-1 lets him make the bar, standard reply. 4-3, come down with the 4 and split with the 3. And here it actually, because he's got a prime going, it'd be better if I just went ahead and split with the 4 and came down with the 3, which is, but it's like 0.002, so, it's not a big deal. 5-1, he's finding a little confusing. There are alternatives. And let's see here. Pause. We'll see if I managed to do the pause in there. I had to reply to a text real quickly, so hoping to get this audio recorded before somebody shows up to do some stuff around the house. Anyway, 4-2, looking at, so the making the point is pretty good, but then what's the 2? The 2 is you just come down. It took me a minute to find it. 4-3 lets him hit, which is wrong. So because he could anchor up there. So so there I can enter and hit, double hit. That's amazing. Pretty good luck. 6-3 he dances. I go ahead and double, which is correct, and it's a take, which he found right away. But I'm feeling pretty good. So 3-1. 3-2. Sorry, let me hit, which is not the right thing to do. But I'm thinking, well, I should be blitzing here. So let's see, 6-5 lets me cover, and then I need, if I'm blitzing, I need more ammo, so I bring another one down. 5-1 lets him anchor, so the blitz is over, but I've still got to try to contain him. So 4-3 lets me make the 4-point. That'll help hopefully hold him. 5-4, nope, the blitz is very over. Now I get a 1-3, so the little bit of an awkward number. I just play it to the point I've already got made, which is not quite right, but not terrible. 6-3 lets him make a blocking point, so I'm in a little bit of trouble there. 5-2, I can remake the 8, or I can hit, or can I hit? No, there's nothing to hit out there. What am I looking at? So I just can run out, or I can just bring that 8 in with this to the 6-point, and that's what I end up doing. And again, it took me a minute, but I did find the best play there, so feeling pretty good about that. Comes in, I get a 5-4, so I'm looking at just running around there. Small blunder, like I established that point. I should go ahead and make it. It gives me a way to get my checkers out of there. 3-2 lets him hit, and so but he's got a blot there, so he wants to cover the blot, so he goes with the pick and pass, which is pretty strong. 3-6 lets me dance, so that was a very unlucky sequence. He's got to think about whether the cube is a good idea or not, and based on the game score, it's not. So he goes ahead and puts the cup over the cubes just so that he remembers to never look at it. So, which I thought was funny. 5-6, I get one in, so that's better than not. 5-4, so he can do a lot of things. He can make the 2-point. He can just come around, and there's no urgency here, so he just brings things around, which is the best play. 4-6 lets me come in and then probably just run, and that's what I do. So that is correct. 6-2 lets him hit me or not. He can just bring one around. And again, he's got a massive racing lead at this point, so there's no reason to hit me. So he, I joke about how he likes to hit, but he also knows not to when he shouldn't. So 6-2 lets him come in, or lets me bring one in, and now he's about 70% favored in the game. 4-1, slightly awkward. Basically, you're just got to play one behind, so he goes ahead and plays 2 in, which is fine. 6-4 lets me run one on past all of his checkers, so that's good. Still got the 2 on his 4-point for contact. And now double threes is a lucky roll for him. Lets him just kind of move things forward. I'm still feeling okay-ish because he's got those checkers that are 6 away from my anchor, so that's going to be hard for him to clear without leaving a shot. 2-1 lets him fill in the 5-point, which is very good for him. 6-1, I can make my board a little stronger. And now double fives, that takes care of his problem, right? So now he can bring those checkers in, almost completely breaking contact, and I am dead. So 3-2, I just pull my back checkers forward. Now is about when he should be redoubling me, but he's still thinking like he's still got that covered, so he isn't looking at the cube just yet. Double twos brings the other 2 in, 1 off, and then split 1 down. 4-3 lets me complete my board. So if I ever somehow get a shot, then that's great. There's no way I'm getting a shot with the board the way his is. So 4-3, I go ahead and just run one out. Because, how am I getting a shot is if he decides somehow to hit me, which he's not going to do. 4-2, just bring him around. Maybe he'll hit me. I mean, you could hit me here. You could play 5-4 with 3 and then 1 off. Or you could just say, you know what, I don't need the 6 point. It doesn't make much of a difference, but let's just put all of them on the 5 point. So it doesn't matter what I roll at this point. Just waiting for him to realize that he still has the cube and double me out. And there it is. It's under this cup. Let me redouble and let me pass. Once again, I think I'm spending a little bit of a time here just to emotionally process the fact that things went so badly for me there. Got to mourn the game. I don't know why I have to mourn the game with the clock running, but again, I've got 7 minutes, and we're at 2 away, 6 away after this game, so it's not I've got plenty of time. I was thinking there may be some way that he's gonna potentially hit me with a 1, not this roll, but in a future roll. The question is, I may break a little bit before then, but most of the time he's going to put a checker or two past my blot there, and then he'll have ones that he can play. So it's real unlikely that he's going to leave a 1 for me, and that's we end up kind of talking about that a little bit. So yeah, come to realize that no, there's just essentially there's no chance of me getting a shot. Eventually, I realized that, past the cube. And we're on to, like I said, 6 away, 2 away. So, not going well for me in this one. So, it's the opening roll. I get a 2-1. Oh, he gets a 2-1, so, he does the down and split. 4-2 lets me make the 4 point. Double 2s lets him make a point and then do something else. So, the simple thing would be to just play 2 down off the 13, but he's already got 1 off the 13, so he only bothers with 1 of them. 3-2, there's nothing really safe I can do there, but I decide I'll make a blunder instead. I could hit him here, which would have been at least started getting something potential working for me. So anyway, 5-4 for him, 6-4 for me. Go ahead and make the 2. I don't know why. It doesn't do me any immediate good, but it doesn't do any immediate harm, so whatever. So 3-2-1, he just brings it down. 4-2, starting to realize that I need to move back checkers, so come down with the 4 and split with the 2, which is a little bit loose, but again, gives me some mobility. So 5-2 is lets him hit, so he does. It actually lets him hit twice, so he does. The second hit was a mistake. He probably he didn't need to do that. I've got the stronger board, but double 5s fixes a lot of things. So comes in, he hits loose, or I'm sorry, he points on me, and then now he just needs to find 1 more 5 to play, and there's a lot of choices. So he goes with the one that just leaves a million blots on the board, because I've got 2 on the bar, and obviously I'm going to dance on a 3-point board, which I do. So 4-1 does not let him make another home board point. Could clean up, or he could just go ahead and put a 3rd on the bar, because if 2 are good, 3 are better. So all right, I enter 1, so that's not terrible. Double 4s would normally let him make the 5 point, but he only had one left. So, but it does let him like do a pick and pass situation, so that's pretty good. Double ones dances. 5-1 does not make a point. So the question is, you know, I mean, again, like he needs to close me out, so he needs to get some more ammo around. So like 16 to 10 would be good here, and because that would like give him another covering number, or he could like pull the back checker out. But you know, really the right idea is to just get another one into the zone. So, but you know, he's figuring he's got time. What with me having 3 on the bar, so and he does have time. 2-1 lets me bring 1 in, so again, better than not. Double 1, he goes ahead and does the shift right away. You know, the alternative would be something like making the 5, but you know that gives me the opportunity to anchor, so this is definitely better. And then he splits out his back checkers to, or you know, his forward checkers in order to like have more attacking numbers. 4-1 can make the 5 point, or it can hit. So again, he goes with the hit, but in this case, making the 5 would be better. There's the risk of me anchoring, but anchoring on the 3 is not the worst. Getting hit back is the worst. So lucky roll for me, 1-4, he comes in and attacks again. And so as long as I get a 3 or a 5 on this roll, which I'm favored to do, it's two, you know, it's like 20 numbers, then I'm in okay shape. So again, a minor edit here as we like deal with some tournament business. And so now the tape is rolling again. I guess, what am I doing? I think I'm still talking to somebody about tournament business. So, okay, yeah, there he goes. And I rolled double 4s. Oh, no, that's not good. 6-4 lets him cover. So he does. And so now I desperately need a 3. Good time to roll a 3. I instead don't. Double 6s, that's probably good. It's actually forced. There's only one legal play from here. And it does involve hitting me, so that's the first part he does. And then, like, yeah, he's got to pull that back one out. So, again, great time for a 3 if I can find one. Oh, I got a 3. Hooray. And all I need is for him to dance and for me to find another 3. And so, oh, goodness sakes. Oh, I got another 3. Yay. So all of a sudden, I am not completely dead. Let's see, he dances again. 4-1. I'm stuck. Double 5s. Lets him come all the way around or just move everything forward. This duplicates 3s, so that's pretty good. And all I need is a double 3. Nope, double 6. That's not as good. 6-2, and just bring 2 around or bring 1 all the way. Kind of, I'm not sure why the 6-4, that didn't really accomplish much. Double 5 accomplishes even less. 5-4, you can just go ahead and bring both of them down, which leaves him exposed to like a 3-5, I guess. But, you know, what are the odds of me rolling a 3-5? I roll a 6-2 instead. Not nearly as good. 4-1, so he can anchor up and bring 1 in. Still dancing. I mean, you know, I'm not despairing here. I mean, I'm in terrible shape, but you know, given where I'm at, it's kind of like a little bit preferable to be stuck on the bar. At least like nothing's breaking down on my 3-point board. Let's see, 5-4, so he clears the 6 point. 4-2, I dance. 4-1, he takes a couple off. Why not? And hey, 5-3, I'm off the bar. So that's fantastic. Go ahead and run 1 out. 5-3, he it's got an odd number out there, which is, you know, a little bit awkward, but, you know, I still got to go wrong for him before I can convert that into a turnaround. Double two lets him take 4 off, which is lovely. Now, what was that? 3-2, and just bring 1 around. Kind of doesn't matter. Double fives, and here's my shot. All I've got to do is roll a 1, and this turns around. All right, I missed. Let me start it again. 5-4. That is not good. Okay, so at this point, I am guaranteed to lose, almost guaranteed to lose a gammon, and in fact, I lose a backgammon. So that is it. Bodger won 7-1. He ended up playing pretty well. I had terrible luck, and I played it very, very poorly. So it was overall a good match for him, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thanks.